Get ready. Ready, y'all. Row, we have a start. So the big event of the afternoon here, as they are starting, Penn at 42, Navy at 44, 6 crews. 42, 41 for Washington. And here comes Washington at 44. Cornell has moved into early leadership. And Pennsylvania with a very strong start. And we've had another boat with somebody get over here in front of us. Now we're pretty well out here with Cornell having the lead. All right, now Cornell is out in front. Rutgers is up here with a strong drive in the early going. Cornell rowing at 35. Another good start by Pennsylvania. Rutgers, Washington, and Navy, the three outside crews, are behind just a bit. Navy a beat of 38 strokes a minute. Navy, or Washington right now, would be fifth, with Navy sixth, and with Brown in sixth position. Cornell continues to lead. Right now it would be Cornell in front with Pennsylvania second. Rutgers is third. The Cornell beat is 35. They've gone past the 500 mark. Washington is coming up well, rowing at 36. All six of these crews are in there pretty well, within a length of each other. As we would go from back to front, it would be Brown trailing with Navy next to last, and Washington would be fourth. Cornell continues to lead. The inside crew in first position is Pennsylvania, and Rutgers is third. Washington rowing here at about 33. Cornell has almost moved up to a full-length lead. They have about 1,250 meters to go. And Cornell, which had gotten away with a lead at the outset, is still up there leading. In second position in the inside lane is Penn. Rutgers is third. Washington, moving well now, has taken over fourth with Navy fifth, and in sixth position is Brown. Cornell rows at 34. No open water, but almost a full-length lead. But it's close all the way, probably from number 1 to number 6, no more than a length and a half right now. Pennsylvania rows at 34. Penn, by a narrow margin, is holding second over Rutgers, but Washington is coming up there well. The Huskies are fourth. Brown is rowing at 34, and Brown and Navy are the two that are furthest back. As they hit the halfway mark, it's Cornell is the leader. In second place is Washington, rowing at 36. Rutgers is third. In fourth position now is Penn. In fifth, it would be Navy, and in sixth, it is Brown. So Washington has come up. Washington trails Cornell by about 3/4 of a length. The Cornell beat is 35. Just at the halfway mark, Washington managed to move up there and nip itself into second position. Pennsylvania, which had dropped back to fourth, has now come up to third place, and Rutgers is back in fourth. Navy is fifth, Brown is sixth. Cornell has open water. They lead by 1 full length. In second place, it's just about a dead heat here between Washington and Penn. Penn, in fact, may be overtaking them. How does you look at it in the last half? How does it look out there?
It looks like Cornell's rowing a very comfortable 33 to 34, and Washington is pressing very hard, walking just slowly on them at a 36. Very tight race, but the strength seems to be right now in Washington and Cornell.
They now have about 800 meters to go. And out here in front by about a full length is Cornell. Penn rowing at 36 and a half. And Washington. Cornell is rowing at 33. Washington is second. In third, it's Penn. And Washington is moving up. Washington is walking up on them. Washington rowing at 37. And Washington is spurting. They trail Cornell by about a half. Cornell leads, but Washington is coming. In third position, Navy has moved up here on the Penn. It looks now as though it's Cornell, Washington, Navy, Penn, then Brown, and finally Rutgers. But Cornell has come back, and Cornell spurting has moved back to a full-length lead. That great Washington burst had pulled the Huskies up to about a half a length. But now Cornell at a 36 has moved back and reasserted itself with a full-length lead. So So make it now as they head into this final stretch in front of the grandstand. Cornell in front with Washington moving at 38 and making up some water on Cornell. Washington is second. Pennsylvania, Navy, Rutgers, Brown, or make it Brown in front of Rutgers. Cornell rowing at 37, but they've lost some of their advantage. As they come up to the final 150 meters, it is Cornell leading by a half a length, with Washington spurting at 38 and a half. Cornell leads. It's Washington second. Washington is at a 41. Cornell moving towards the line is moving at 39. Their lead is being cut as Cornell is in front now by less than a half a length. Coming up to the finish line, it's Cornell. Cornell as the winner. In second, it's Washington. Coming in as third is Pennsylvania. In fourth, it's Brown. In fifth, it's Rutgers. And in sixth, it's Navy.
To a season not without hope, as we found out when talking with Coach Todd Jesdale after the race. Was there any one point along the season that you saw that this crew really did have it?
I believed in them all along, actually, although there have been times, after some of those losses, there have been a couple of days when I wondered whether what I was looking at was accurate. But I think when it really became evident that we were beginning to do something was actually on Wednesday prior to the American Henley 2 weeks ago, when we established new boating and thanks very much, Ted. Sorry. We established new boating and on Wednesday we also went into our new boat, this boat named for Stuart Sanford, last year's boat, and we sort of did everything at once, and the crew made an immediate adjustment to the new boat and the new order of men, and so they were, and we rode, I thought, a pretty good race up at Lake George. We also rode well in the fours with the varsity crew, so that it was evident then that we might be able to do this here.
Your new stroke Dave Weatherall came along very quickly, didn't he?
Oh, very much so. Like a bonfire, really. He was our spare in against Pennsylvania, I'm embarrassed to say. But the guy has really advanced tremendously. It's evident. Last year, he rode in Stuart's third boat and never rode a race.
But Weatherall, a junior from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, did a great job on this one. He told me he was near collapse at the end, but the feeling was like none he'd ever experienced before. Incidentally, the thanks, Ted, sorry, you heard in the middle of that interview, was Penn coach Ted Nash coming over and congratulating Jesdale. And so the Varsity Challenge Cup, presented in 1898 by Dr. Lewis L. Seaman of Cornell, comes home again to Cayuga's waters for the 16th time since the turn of the century and for the first time since Cornell's domination of the IRAs ended in 1963. Before that, the Red had won this race 7 times in 10 years. A bright day for the Big Red, who have taken their second national championship of the spring, first lacrosse and now crew. The day ends different ways for different people. Todd Jesdale, remember that game you used to play, grabbing the arms and legs of someone and swinging them several times before you threw them into the water? Well, if you listen closely, you can hear someone yell, "Swim, Todd." And when he emerged from the Onondaga Lake waters, he was still smiling. No crew had ever come from the repechage heats to victory in the IRAs until today, when Cornell, after finishing dead last in the qualifying heat on Thursday, went wire to wire to cap coach Todd Jesdale's first season as heavyweight head coach. Washington, the defending champion, and Navy were co-favorites. Cornell pulled an upset in the repechage heats just to make the finals and were not given much of a chance in the title race.
Cornell, which had won only once all season today, upset the favored University of Washington to take the Intercollegiate Rowing Championship. Penn was third, followed by Brown, Rutgers, and Navy. Ring Lardner might not believe it, but some of that old